Once he got hurt, he was in survival mode, and it's really hard to stop a guy who's like experienced with the survival skills. He was grabbing, he was ducking, he was holding, and I really wanted to display my skills, and my trainer kept telling me, put your combinations together, start from the body, because that's where he would start when he started holding. I just started a little headhunting a little bit too much, but you know, it's just about the experience, and I gained a lot more experience in this fight than I've done in my previous fights for that reason alone.
Danny, was he better defensively than you thought, or would you not even say that he was being defensive because he was so looking to survive? How do you see
Yeah, I don't think it was, because when you know, there's a difference from being defensive and trying to really survive. I mean, he swayed a couple punches, but like I said, I was really aiming to get the knockout. So at times it seems as if I was swinging and missing is because I was really anxious. But I don't think he was the best defensive guy that I've fought. But he did a really good job at holding and surviving. I give him that. But he didn't pose any threat. He didn't hurt me at any time in the fight. And I was able to see all the shots. You know, he wasn't that fast of a guy. I just think I could have done better, but I did think I put on a good performance. A nice, strong 12 rounds for me, and getting that experience where people think I'm this huge knockout artist. You know, it just shows my diversity.
Danny, were you surprised that he didn't stand in the middle of the ring like that?
Yes, I am. I think he fooled all you guys too. Like, I think with the lead up and build up to this fight, I think you guys really, as well as I did, thought he was going to stand in the middle of the ring and bang it out. So the first round, my mindset, I was going to be a little precautious and kind of, you know, be a little bit more defensive than I normally am. But when I started seeing him going backwards, when I wasn't really posing a threat, I said, okay, I see what type of party this is going to be. And it was actually worse than I thought, so.
I got two questions here. Danny, first, congrats on the performance.
Thanks, Al.
At what point in the fight did you realize, all right, this dude is in straight survival mode, and I'm really not going to be able to stop, so let me just close the show, you know, win every round comfortably. Did you feel that way at any point in the fight?
Maybe the second half of the fight, and I knew that, because I thought that him being inexperienced and going 12 rounds, that I might get him in the 11th or 12th or 10th round in the championship rounds. But he was able still to survive, and even though I hurt him a couple times in the fights in the later portion, yeah, and that's credit to my trainer. He told me to go down to the body, because every time I go for the head, the guy ducks down and holds, and you know, he just had survival skills. I mean, there's nothing I can say about it. I mean, it was just a learning experience.
My second question is for Eddie. What do you think of Danny's performance, you know, with you been working with this first fight?
I think it was a masterclass. I think he was trying a bit hard too early. There's a lot of pressure on him tonight, and I know that he says a great line at the press conference, it's not my first rodeo, which is true, but also, you know, he wants to impress, he was keen to impress, and I think if Arias would have boxed the fight that he said he was going to fight, you would have seen a different performance. But what you saw was a masterclass from an elite middleweight, and now this game is very tough, so to come out 12 rounds unscathed, really untouched, unmarked, and making a lot of money is really what this game's about. It's a very, very tough sport, and these fighters deserve every dollar they get, and they need to know exactly what the plan is. And the plan tonight was 12 rounds, win every round, have a couple of weeks off, back to the gym. And that's what it goes. Bank the performance, bank the money, move on to world titles. That's what it's all about. It's a very, very professional performance from Danny against a good young fighter. You know, I mean, I think he realised that he was a bit out of his depth during the fight, but you know, he's a good young fighter, Luis Arias. But what you saw was an elite middleweight. So I saw what I knew, which is Danny Jacobs is one of, in my opinion, the best middleweight in the world, and you'll see his level rise, as you do always, when he steps up against the even better guys.
I mean, hey, listen, I just think, you know, to add to what he's saying, I just think you can't really knock out everyone, but I showed, you know, bits and pieces of my different attributes. I think once he got a feel of the power, that's when I was able to put my combinations together in the later portions of the round. So that's early on when I said the pressers and the building up of this fight, that I wanted to show my levels. And even though I could have done a better job, I do feel like I did just that.
I think he realized in the first round that he's outclassed.
Yeah.
You know, I seen it in his face. But you said it in the post interview. You said you know, it takes a while to let go of some of that anger and that anxiousness. Is he still there now? Are you going to go on?
No,
Instagram and say-
I just finished seeing his mom, and she came up and we spoke, and we said there's nothing but love and respect. Like at the end of the day, you know, we human, you know, and the back and forth talk, yeah, it's gonna get under my skin, but I respect him. Like, you know,
Did you want to say on camera, who ran now?
no, that's not it. That's not.
I wanted you to say.
No, I would never disrespect him. My skill spoke for me inside that ring, and that's really at the end of the day what it's all about. You know,
Your speed, and you look really fast. Your speed was really impressive.
I felt good, and I was able to utilize my jab a lot more, which my trainer loves, because in the last fight we kind of strayed away from that. And I think just adding different pieces to the puzzle as we get in this experience. So I don't look at 12 rounds with a guy who many feel I could have stopped as a defeat or a loss. I look at it as progression.